Hey, welcome back there, YouTubers. Thanks for joining in today. Let me show you what I got going on today. I've been working on the Vision. I had the exhaust Cerakoted, and then I was going to switch from my billet rims to the cast rims. That was the only thing I was going to do. Well, one thing leads to another, and it never works out that well. Let's discuss exhaust first. So I got the exhaust back. It was Cerakoted. But the Cerakote is a high temperature Cerakote. It's the highest one that he uses, but it's not a baked Cerakote. It cures for 4 days. So I got the exhaust done, but I picked it up on Monday and he wanted me to wait for 4 days. So today'd be the 4th day. So it's just been sitting here hanging by my clothesline, just curing. So there's the mufflers right there. I got the mufflers done because if you watch my previous video, and the heat that comes off the mufflers, it heats up the saddlebags pretty good. So I could go on a day trip, and I got my insulated foam lunch pail type of thing that I use to take it to work. So I could put an ice pack in there and Gatorade, some granola bars or whatever, that kind of stuff, and put it in my saddlebag, and I could ride from here to, I don't know, Robbinsville, North Carolina or something like that on the Dragon. It's about a 2 hour and a half, 2 hour ride, depending on what traffic is like. By the time I get there, that ice pack is melted because it gets so hot in that saddlebag. So that's why I did the mufflers too. And this purpose of this is to keep my legs cool in the summertime when it's 90, 95 degrees outside. This exhaust puts out a lot of heat, and it bakes the inside of your legs quite a bit. So got that back, and I'll be able to put them on today, so that's good. The rims, however, on the other hand, I got a buddy of mine that's the next town north of here. He's got a tire machine, so he's going to help me out switching my tires over. Well, he got sick. Wasn't COVID, but he got like a flu type of a thing, but he tested negative, and now he's got something else too as well. So he's waiting. He can't go see the doctor until his doctor's not open until first of next week, because this weekend is New Year's. So they're closed between Christmas and New Year's. So he's sicker than a dog. He can't help me out. So my tire rims are still here waiting to go up there to get switched over to the other rims. I don't know if you noticed this in the background. I picked up more projects. So I bought this SeaDoos, a 3-seater GTI. Doesn't run. The guy says the rotary valve is bad. Well, they took the oil pump off of it, deleted the oil pump, and that means you premix the gas. Well, I'm sure that when they did that, they didn't give the rotary valve enough oil. Well, when you take the tank out and the rotary valve and the oil pump, you need to keep oil in that rotary valve gear, because that's the only thing keeping it cool. I don't think they did that, so I'm sure they melted that rotary gear. Whether the crank is bad or not, I don't know. I picked it up right. That's why I got it, because I got the trailer with it too. I don't know if I'm actually going to get it running or part it out. I don't know yet. Oh, and then back here, I bought an XP. So these are both 1996s, and I bought this from the same guy. This one doesn't run either. No spark, but he says it should run just fine if I can get the spark to it, which you know how that is. It never works out that well. The worst thing you can do to these things is have them sit. If they sit for any period of time, they have a lot of problems. I got this one with the trailer. I got it right. Got a good price on it. And this has got aftermarket pipe, aftermarket sponsons. That looks like an aftermarket steering system. It's not. It's just a factory. They just took the padding off of it. Does have aftermarket sponsons right here. You can see the sponsons aftermarket. Of course, it's got a rev limiter because it's got a Rossier pipe. And the hood is super valuable, that black hood, because it doesn't have any mirrors on it. It's just a single gauge pod on there. That hood's worth some money. So there's another project that I got. So I got 2 new SeaDoos. So I got 4 SeaDoos sitting in here now. Let's go back into main shop here. Here's a couple of different things that I was working on. You probably, if you saw my previous videos, I built a license plate frame, which is right here. So I built a new license plate frame because my old one, I didn't like my old one. It's so heavy. Plus I wanted this is going to now lay down, instead of being sticking straight up and down, this is going to lay down parallel with the bike. But I'm going to run these lights right up here. And it's got one light here on the side. That's for the license plate light. And then this one here is going to turn out to be a brake light, a red one on the end. My issue is when I put these bolts in here and put it into the mount. And then I go to wire this thing up into the bike. If I got to change my license plate for whatever reason to take my license plate off, I have to completely unwire my bike again just to get the license plate off. So I went down to the store, got some different, and the regular blade connector, insulated blade connector, it won't fit through the hole. So I ended up going down there and getting the bullet style connectors like this. So this is what I'm going to use to put on the ends of the wires, so I can unplug this, because these do fit inside the holes here, and they'll fit through the holes, and the wires and that will fit through the holes. So I had to think about that one there a little bit to get that one engineered correctly. Of course, as you're taking apart a bike, you always find more problems. My disc brake rotors are getting to be really worn quite a bit. They're 4.5 millimeter minimum, and they are almost there. So it's, I think I'm gonna get new brake rotors as well. These are getting worn out pretty quick. So, and for all the riding I do around here, in East Tennessee with the Dragon and the Charhollis Skyway right here, I use brakes a lot, and I use them pretty hard. So just time for some new rotors. Another project that I did, I built myself a new battery tray, and I'm going to run a lithium battery for around here. If I'm going to go on a long road trip or something, I'll put the lead acid battery back in. But for around here, I'll run a lithium battery, because all my trips are day trips now, and a lithium is just fine for a day trip. But the difference between these two is ginormous in weight. I weighed this one with my digital scale, and it is 16 pounds with the bracket and the battery, both 16 pounds with this AGM battery. This one here weighs 3 pounds. I mean, there's nothing to this thing compared to this one here. Compared to this one here. So that's 13 pounds lighter right there off the nose of the bike. That was another project that I didn't plan on doing, but I ended up doing, and now I gotta get brakes, work on my lights now. What else do I got going on? Oh, let me show you this. So a couple weeks ago, I got myself a new plasma arc for Christmas, and then I bought a welding bench, small welding bench from Northern Tool as well. Well, I built myself a rack to hold all the clamps and stuff that came with the table, using my plasma arc. So I got all that stuff mounted up good. I got a place for my grinders over here. I put it on casters instead of just regular steel feet. I put it on casters with brakes, so I can move this thing wherever I want to and work on it. In any location. My plasma arc and my welder are both 110 volt capable. So that's the nice part about it. I can move this thing wherever I want and work on it as long as I got a plug. Let's see if I can show this here. Stick this in the ground. I could turn off my water mains. There's a reason I built this. So my next door neighbor, they haven't moved in yet. That's their house right behind my shop. Anyway, he was commenting a while back. He mentioned, I'd like to shut off my water, when I'm gone, because I don't want to have a water main leak or leak in the house. And I'm thinking to myself, how often does that happen? When has that ever happened? Do you know that somebody's been gone forever and, for a week or two or something, and their water main breaks or something like that? Just what are the chances of that happening? It does happen. I understand. It does happen. Well, it happened to him. And he was gone. And they'd gone back to Illinois where they live. And so the house has been sitting vacant. I came out to the shop one night to go to work out in the shop, and my yard is flooded. We hadn't had rain for 3 or 4 weeks. And my backyard is flooded. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I start tracking around. Look, I run back in the house and I asked my wife, I said, did you notice water sitting in the backyard? She's like, no. So she came running out here and stuff. It was getting dark. So we grabbed our flashlights and we ran around, and I tracked the water leaking up at the guy's house, right outside of his house. And opened up his crawl space, looked underneath there. It's not leaking inside the house. It's just coming. The water main broke about 10 feet outside of his house. So I had to grab some tools and run down to his water main and shut off. I called him and said, hey, did you shut off your water? He's like, no, I didn't. I said, man, you got a water main leak. I'm gonna go shut your water off. Okay, thanks. So I ran down to the end of his driveway and shut his water off, and all I had was like a crescent wrench and a vice grip to do it. So that's why I built that tool. I can shut off water, or if I'm not home or something and my wife needs to shut off the water or the neighbors need it, we got a tool to do that. Just reach in the ground and shut the water off. Anyway, I got a lot of things going on and I'm not getting anything done, so I better get cracking. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm gonna try to do some videos of me putting this bike back together. And man, keep in touch. I appreciate you sticking by and watching the videos. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.